You can see right now it's trying to go in reverse. And if you look at the tentacle on the screen, I can zoom in, it's showing that it wants to go in reverse. It's leaving a gap for this car. That was super polite. That's exactly what I would have done. Moments like that really, really impress me. It makes it feel like a human is driving the car. Wow, I've never seen it circle around in the middle of parking spaces. That is very interesting. Oh, it's actually parking itself. I'm waving to this gentleman here that let me go. He doesn't know that my car is driving itself. It's parking going forward and it's not completely in the lines. This seems identical to the behavior before where parking is just not quite there, but I mean, it's decent enough. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This video is going to be as raw as possible. There is no editing being done. I am recording in the moment for this entire drive. I just got 12.6.4, and what's really interesting is that this version is the same as 13.2.8. So this is the second time now where the same version has been pushed to 12 and 13 at the same time. This is 2024.45.32.20. The last version was .15. Now these are point releases. The release notes didn't mention anything about anything in particular as far as what was fixed. So we can only assume that these were bug fixes, but let me see if I can display here on the screen what we're talking about. If I go into the menu system here, you're going to see in the software tab, you're going to see right here is the software. And if I tap on the release notes, you're going to see some generic information related to this version. And again, there's nothing in particular that calls out any improvements here with 12.6.4. Let's put it to the test. A lot of things about speed control, kind of that seems to be the biggest complaint ongoing, I would say, with these versions. However, on the city streets now, and even on the highway with 12.6, you can fine tune that speed control. Just dial it down. You can go as slow as you want to go. I'm going to take it over to the Home Depot, which is not too far from here. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because there's a really difficult unprotected left. I might fast forward through some of this. So we are in drive. I'm just going to take off here and then, like I said, go out on the main road. It is super cold. It's like 14 degrees. I came out of my garage and it was a lot warmer inside of my garage. I want to say it's like 4 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, it is super cold out there. Let's hope that we notice some changes at least. This version has been performing really, really well for me. 12.6.3 was doing great. 12.6.4 I expect is going to do the same. There we go, a green arrow and coming straight out. You know, it's funny because you get mixed feedback from people. Some people saying that it doesn't do well at all, then others saying that it's doing great. I will say that highway driving is phenomenal, and I've mentioned this before. It's so nice, especially in the hurry setting. It drives like I do now on the highway, and that is a big deal for me, especially when I'm going on long trips. That means a lot. Flying down this road at 48 miles per hour, you can see the speed limit is 45. And it's going 3 over, which is totally fine. Now, it's not going to say hurry mode because we're not going over 50 miles per hour. But what I can do is scroll on the right. There's a right scroll wheel on my steering wheel. And if I go up and down, I can set the max speed. I'm just going to go up 1 notch. And we're going to take a look here in the upper left. There we go, 64 max. So it's automatically bringing it all the way. So even though it was set at 64, it was not going to that speed. So very interesting to see that it's ignoring the max speed setting. And there you can, it just clipped a little bit. There you can see in the upper left, I do have the speed being displayed, but I've cropped it off a little bit too far, but at least you can see a little bit where it says 64 max, 63 max. That's perfect, actually. It's enough for you to see where it's changing. So I'm just gonna leave it at the default, which it's coming in at 40% over the speed limit, which is the default setting. And as we're heading down this road here, when we get to the next traffic light, I'm going to do a rundown on my settings, but just know that I almost always default to the hurry mode. Not that that matters on these city streets, but I also, because of the winter, I reduced my acceleration setting to chill mode, which is why every so often you'll see in the upper left, it will say chill. And that chill, it's interesting. I noticed later that that chill tends to turn on whenever you're accelerating. So let's take note of that right now. We're accelerating right now from 34 to 36 and 35, 34, 33. Now watch, the next time I accelerate, this light here is green. Let's see if chill shows up in the upper left again. Waiting for it. And let's just keep an eye on that. When it didn't show up there, but every so often that will pop up. And that, as I found out recently, is related to the acceleration setting. And perfect. Now we have a traffic light. As soon as it comes to a stop here, I'll show you all of my settings. We're kind of at a stop. Okay, so I'm going to show you real quick here. Inside of here in the dynamics, you can see I'm in the chill acceleration setting. And in the autopilot menu, I'm on chill. Usually I'm always in hurry. I'm going to change it to hurry. I don't think that matters. But the key here is that 40% max speed offset. That is the default setting, and I've left that the same. Okay, and let's get rid of this, make this full screen here again. Now we're going to be turning left onto Barrington Road up here. Now look at this. It's leaving a gap for this car. That was super polite. That's exactly what I would have done. Moments like that really, really impress me. It makes it feel like a human is driving the car. Previously, I don't feel, and this is again up to interpretation, but I don't feel that it would have been intelligent enough to leave a gap like that. I was in some neighborhoods, and this was buried in my last video where I talked a lot. It was more kind of me talking to the camera. I'll pull that clip out of my previous video so you can see that highlight, because that wasn't a driving video and it didn't get very many views, but there was a key moment in there that really impressed me. Oh, I take it back. It wasn't actually in that last video with me talking. It was a short that I just posted onto X. So a lot of you on YouTube haven't seen this at all. It was in a neighborhood area, and it intelligently slowed down for somebody that was backing into a driveway, and I would have gone forward in that situation because they were backing up into the driveway. But FSD gave that person the benefit of the doubt and said, you know, maybe they're going to be coming back out again. They could be doing like a 3-point turn in reverse. Well, sure enough, that's exactly what they were doing, and FSD waited for it. Here's that clip. You can see my car coming down this neighborhood. This car is coming this way and then backing in. I'm going 10 miles an hour and then coming up here 11. It starts to speed up a little bit, and I'm thinking, okay, it's going to go past them. They back into the driveway. I'm figuring it's clear, but now look, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. It comes to a complete stop, waits for them. They come out. What you didn't see is they gave me a hand gesture through the window saying thank you. I was blown away at the courtesy there. For those of you who don't know, early access, this is the only group right now that has 12.6.4. And you may wonder, well, how come early access is getting it and I'm not getting it? Like, what's up with that? Well, early access is a I don't want to say elite. That sounds really dumb. I don't consider myself elite. Let me just say that right away. Early access is a group of individuals that posts content that's useful enough for Tesla to roll this out ahead of others because they provide valuable feedback. And how do they do that? It's not just through voice feedback. You see on the upper side of the screen, there's that little camera icon. That means I can report that if you have a camera icon, that means you're in the early access group, and that means that you can provide feedback to Tesla directly. And that is extremely valuable for Tesla as they roll this out. They want these people that are going to jump to go test it in their car. I feel like people that, obviously, if you're really, really passionate and you continually talk about how you want to be involved, like Kaz is a great example. Cyberlift. He put his voice out there. He's been contributing. He drives more than anyone else, and he really, really was adamant, hey, let me into this group. I can help you guys out. And he got added in. He's the last one to get added into that early access group. But if you feel that when you get an update, you're going to be the first one out in your car to test it out, you're really passionate about FSD tech, and you are constantly using it, then by all means, get vocal on X, start posting, and just don't give up. That would be my main point. And then also document your drives. It's not just the in-car feedback that's helpful to Tesla, it's the driving experience on video. So if you are comfortable with putting cameras inside of your car and hustling to post those on YouTube, for example, or X, it doesn't matter where you post them, but as long as you kind of go through your drives and show everybody outside of what Tesla's just getting directly, I think that also helps you get into the early access group. But to my knowledge, it's very few and far between that they let new people in. So like I said, you really have to be the nail that sticks out. That's a saying that they have in Japan. The nail that sticks out always gets hammered in. Like step in line. Hey, don't do something unusual. But in this case, you wouldn't get hammered back down. You would ideally get recognized and then added in. So these residential drives, I'm taking it to the hardware store because of this unprotected left. And then after that, I'm going to take it over to my gym. So I'm going to stop by my home before I go to the gym. But thankfully, it's still light outside. But I really want to film while I'm doing something else rather than just do this, because I don't want to say it's a waste of time, but let's face it, I don't get much out of posting on YouTube. I have to kind of double things up. So some people had asked recently, when are you going downtown? Have you gone downtown Chicago with 12.6 yet? And the answer to that is no. As you can see around me, there's a lot of snow. It's dried up on the roads, thankfully, but you go back to Friday, it was slush and snow everywhere. The roads were just chaotic. It seems like every other day there's snow here, and to be honest, this is my only Tesla, and I try to make it last as long as possible. This car is my baby. I still treat it like brand new. It just got a nice car wash, by the way. This car is super clean right now. But all the salt on the roads, I'm sounding like a broken record for my regular viewers, but all the salt on the roads drives me crazy. Oh, I should have let it continue to go. I'm gonna turn it back on here. I took over so I can force it to do this unprotected left, but let's see if it will go to the pin. I'm curious to see if it will go in reverse here. So I turned it back on, nobody behind us, and it is, you can see right now, it's trying to go in reverse. Let me zoom in. And that's strange because I don't know why it's trying to go in reverse. It certainly can't be parking itself, but that was the biggest question I had with this new release is, can it now go in reverse? I'm just going to push on the accelerator a little bit, get it to go forward. Let's see if it will circle around. Okay, perfect. Wow, I've never seen it circle around in the middle of parking spaces. That is very interesting. Oh, it's actually parking itself. Okay, so it parked itself going forward, but I was hoping it would go to the pin and give us an opportunity to try to go in reverse again. I'm going to step on the accelerator again and guide it down this aisle. Let's see what it will do here. And then if we can, before I leave this parking lot, I'm going to try to get it to go in reverse by parallel parking it. And I'm going to have like a car right in front of me. Or actually, it would go in reverse if you're leaving a parking space. So let's try that. I'm waving to this gentleman here that let me go. He doesn't know that my car is driving itself. And I just realized my video is frozen. That's not good. I'm frozen in time on the bottom right, but thankfully nothing else is frozen. You guys don't need to see my mouth moving. Okay, it's parking going forward, and it's not completely in the lines. This seems identical to the behavior before, where parking is just not quite there, but I mean, it's decent enough. Let me just see if I can fix the camera here. Hold on. Oh, there it is. All right, you guys get to see behind the scenes here how I'm doing this. Let me zoom in so you can't see so much behind the scenes. Hey, stop. Don't look there. All right, we got the iOS camera working here again. Let me get this refreshed. Okay, we got it full screen. Let's see. Okay, perfect. We got it down below as well. Very strange how we lost that connection. Okay, so my steering wheel is moving. I don't have a camera inside of the car to show you the steering wheel, but it was moving a little bit before. Now it seems to have stopped completely. But I think it's safe to say now that it will not be going in reverse. What we can do is test it out by going forward here. I'm just going to pop over into this space right here. Look at all the white salt on the road. That, you know what bothers me so much about the salt is it creates this really fine mist, and then that comes into your vents through your radiator, and then it just disperses all throughout the fans, and that stuff, it creates rust. There's no moving part is not susceptible to corrosion. So that's what bothers me so much about these roads. And I try to limit how much I actually drive around. So I'm going to put it into park, and now I'm going to hide my screen so you can't see my home address. We are all set to go. I'm going to turn it on, and we'll see if it goes in reverse. I already know it's not, because with version 13, it actually there's a message on the screen. It's a built-in feature, and it's very clear about the fact that your car is going to go in reverse. I'll turn it on just to show you guys. So as you can see, it's just sitting here. If I tap on it a little bit, just tap on the accelerator here. So I went forward just a tiny bit, and it's not letting me do anything. You can see that 22 inches, it's telling me I'm close to that car, and it's not allowing me to go at all. So this is now very clear that it cannot go in reverse. So let's put it in reverse manually and get it going in the right direction. That's exactly what we want, this route right here. This is the challenging section. So I'll turn it on, and it should continue going forward. It sees this car on my left, and it's waiting for them. That was nice. Thank you, FSD. That was very polite. Not what I would have done, but that was nice. Now this is the challenging left turn. Always depends on the traffic here, obviously, but let's see what happens. Positioning is good. It's on the far left. It's going to be hard for you guys to see on the left and right. It's creeping forward. There's a car on the right, and there's no cars on the left. And now we've got maybe 4 or 5 cars on the right, and now we've got like tons coming on the left. So you can see my screen, and it's showing pretty much all of these cars. And what I can do here very, very carefully is show you the full screen here. There's a lot of cars on my left and a lot of cars on the right. And there's also another car on the right that is blocking the way that I can't really see on the right side. But there's a lot of cars lining up there you can see in front of me to turn left. Let's see what happens here. This is very, very hard. We've got a truck directly behind us, and it's going to be uncomfortable if we don't go right after this car on the left. This is the last car on the left. This is where it needs to go. It needs to start creeping. Come on, be human, be human. Go, go, go. Come on, be human. Okay, we got one other car coming here, and now it should be going. Come on. Okay, now we've got more cars on the left. Okay, so it's very tricky. This spot is stressful, even for a human driver, to know the timing to go out, because there's a lot of cars coming at 40 to 45 miles per hour on both sides. And then you have right in front of us an exit from another parking lot. Okay, here it's going out. Beautiful, look at this. And there's a police car right there. Come on, don't hesitate. Okay, so I'm going to replay this because if I was driving manually, I probably would have gotten run over. FSD did the right thing waiting here. Watch. Beautiful, look at this. And there's a police car right there. Come on, don't hesitate. At the end, I'm so glad that it hesitated. It's waiting, and now I'm going to step on the accelerator just a little bit to bring it out. Needed a little bit of help from me, but I think it could have done that all on its own. I really do. I think it could have done that all on its own. I'm going to circle around here and try that one more time because that is just such a fascinating intersection for me. So hopefully we don't get someone right behind us here. That's what kind of spoils the whole test because I don't really like doing these tests when someone is right behind me. I've said this 1,000 times before, but the biggest worry that people should have when they're using full self-driving is getting rear-ended because the car is extremely safe. Let's face it, it is very, very safe. It's safer than a lot of human drivers, to be honest, as it is today. But the problem with that safe level is that it's almost too safe and it plays it extremely cautiously. Now, on the left, it's completely clear right now. And on the right, we've got another car here. This is the last car. It's a Model Y passing by right there. Now we're good to go on the left. We got one more car coming on the right. And it waited for them. Even though they were in the far right lane, it waited patiently just to be extra safe. And there's another perfect example of FSD playing it safe when it really didn't need to. And I'm having so much fun. We'll circle around and do this one more time. You guys having fun yet? I hope so. The sun is still out. Well, it's still light, and that's great because you can see my face. You can see things around my car really nice. In fact, by the time I get home to take it to the gym, it's probably going to be dark. So it's going to be a different experience here for the video, but it's now given me the new path, as you can see in the upper right. And here we go. All right, getting into the left lane and coming to a nice stop here, waiting. Now it's pretty far back. I think I would go further up a little bit, but technically that wasn't wrong. There were some lines there. It's coming out quite aggressively. It's using this as a creep zone. It's waiting here. This is kind of a safety zone. It's waiting. Now the car behind me is in the left turn lane. It is good to go. And we're kind of hanging out here, thankfully, not too awkwardly, but it's waiting because another car just came right there. And had it gone, we would have had to speed up quite rapidly to get away from that car. All said and done, beautiful job. I didn't have to intervene at all. I didn't touch the wheel. I didn't touch the brake. I didn't touch the accelerator. Everything there was completely automated. As I had suspected coming out to test this, well, first of all, I wanted to see if it would go in reverse, and we proved right now that it does not go in reverse. It would be a big deal. They would mention that, but all said and done, I'm not noticing any significant changes. And I posed this question to Ashok on X recently, actually about 3 hours back. I just was asking, and by the way, this version came in, here it is Monday, February 17th. It came in around 2:45 p.m. Central Time is when 12.6.4 came out. But I posed the question, because now it's the same release as 13.2.8, is, are they actually the same thing? I mean, what I mean by that is, are the enhancements, because both of them are the same release notes. The 13.2.8 compared to 2.7 is the same from a release note standpoint. And same thing here on version 12. We didn't have anything mentioned as a significant addition or modification. And as always, Tesla doesn't mention what they fixed. So my question is then, are the enhancements similar between the two versions? In other words, maybe it's a neural nets update or a map update. And that poses a good question regarding the map updates. If I go into the screen here and check the software and scroll down, it's going to say, there's my navigation data. And that is It doesn't mention the date. However, if you know what all those numbers mean, you can probably backwards engineer it to say, okay, yeah, that came out on this date. But for me, I don't know if that's a new map update that came out with this, but it's possible that these versions both came out with a maps update that mainly, I think maps are completely separate from the FSD. But my point is that hardware 4 cars with version 13 are using the AI4 hardware 4 cameras, which are 5 megapixel. And all of the neural nets are being trained using AI4 native inputs, meaning those 5 megapixel cameras, the higher resolution. Whereas version 12, the hardware 3 vehicles are not using those newer cameras. The cameras on those cars, like the one I have on my 2019 Model 3, are all 1.2 megapixel. So I find it really hard to believe that both versions are including the same types of updates. So what I suspect may be happening, and I doubt Tesla would ever admit to this, is that they are releasing an update that's primarily fixing or upgrading version 13, and just for simplicity's sake, they're sending it out to version 12 when there haven't been any updates whatsoever. Is that what's happening? I have no idea. I'm curious to hear what you guys think down below. But I think it's possible that version 12 is getting these what I'm going to call ghost updates to go along with version 13. And they consolidated them so that, first of all, it's easier for them to manage when they push these updates out. But I kind of smile saying this, and it's funny that I think this way, and maybe I'm unique, but I feel in some ways they've done this just to prevent the hardware 3 owners from complaining. so that they get an update. It may be a what do they call it, like a no potato, like a what do they call that, a placebo, like the placebo effect, where there's actually nothing that ships. It's just a flat update. It seems silly to do that because that's like wasting bandwidth, and like, why would you push it and store it on your servers if it's not actually providing any new updates or any value? So I don't know, but I can't help from thinking that they're doing this to prevent all the hardware 3 people from complaining about waiting so long for updates. Okay, I'm back, and it's still light outside. Wow, it's 5:48. This is incredible. I mean, at least it's a little bit light outside. I'm going to turn on FSD here, and it's going to take us to the gym. It's only a 4-minute drive. I did change into these new glasses, and I'll show you here. We're coming up here to turn right. I know you guys probably don't care about my glasses, but I got these Rayban Meta glasses, and I usually like to wear these at the gym, believe it or not. So I'm not one of those people. That was a nice right turn. I don't sweat like profusely when I go to the gym. I sweat moderately, but these, as long as you're not like going for a swim, these won't get damaged. But the nice thing with this is they have speakers built in, so I can listen to my own music. I can do whatever, watch YouTube videos. And usually when I'm on the elliptical, I like to have my own music playing, and it's a little bit more discreet than wearing headphones. But like I said before, I don't think we're going to encounter anything unusual or come across anything that will be like a noticeable difference. For me, the behavior here in the suburbs is really, really good, and it's part of the reason why I haven't been filming very much as far as FSD drives, just because the suburbs, well, first of all, it's been snowing, right? All that stuff going on. But secondly, it's just not that interesting up here. The drives are just so good now. It's really nothing to highlight. Here it's getting over. Look at that. Really nicely done there. Beautiful. And there was a car behind me as well. And the nice thing is, while you're driving, here I can show you this very cautiously, of course. waiting. You've got some cars braking in front of us, but the nice thing is that, well, now they're far enough behind me. But while you're driving, what's kind of cool is that you can move the screen and see all the traffic around you. You can see these cars behind me. There's that car far back behind me. But that's kind of one nice thing that I enjoy, is being able to rotate the screen at any given moment. And turning right here, the person behind us is getting closer, but I'm very curious. Okay, nicely done. Not bad coming in here. Curious to see what happens for the parking. Usually it does a pretty darn good job of finding a spot and then just parking, but it does a very bad job of putting itself between the lines perfectly. But it's gotten so good now where it tends to park. And we're here at the pin, and it looks like in this case it's just pulling over saying we're here. Now in the past I've waited a little bit and then it starts circling around to go find a spot. If I wait long enough, it's possible that it will do that. We do have some people coming up right behind us. Some pedestrians, that is. Okay, now it's going to hunt for a spot, I'm guessing. Let's see what it does. And so far it will not back into a spot, but what will happen is it will steer away from a parking space. Like here, the right turn signal is on to try to park over here. Yes, see here, it's turning itself away from the parking space and now wanting to go in reverse. So it's purposefully now wanting to go backwards. And if you look at the tentacle on the screen, I can zoom in, it's showing that it wants to go in reverse. You can see that there. So this is where it's really waiting for me to say, yeah, it's okay to go in reverse, and it's waiting for me to actually park it or disable FSD and then select the parking space. So I can do that here for you guys. I'll just show you how that works. I'm going to take over real quick because now someone's coming, and then select the spot and have it park. Now, will I stay in this parking space? Unlikely. And the reason why I say that is because whenever I can avoid my doors getting dinged, I will avoid it, especially when I'm at the gym. It's not that huge of a parking lot to park far away. And why not? You know, when you can protect your car. My car is 6 years old, but I still treat it like day one. There we go. So it's parked itself. Now, of course, you can turn on Sentry mode, but I'd rather just not have my car get hit at all than risk hunting someone down. And who does that anyway? If someone like dings your door, do you really go to their door and say, hey, you dinged my car door? I mean, I guess you could if you want to file an insurance claim or something. So I'm just going to get out of this space and park manually, but that's a good example of how you would use this, a good use case in a parking lot. The one other thing I could test here is actually Smart Summon. I did a video on this recently as well, and it performed flawlessly. I was very, very happy. In fact, I still use actually Smart Summon a lot. Even before it was actually Smart Summon, I was using Smart Summon all the time. And it's something that it depends on the person. But for me, I really enjoy using it, and I get a lot of utility out of it. Especially in this parking lot right here for when I come out of the gym. It's nice to have my car just come and pick me up. And it does so well. It's been extremely rare where it's screwed up. But with that said, there is one area, might as well test this, it won't take that long, is what you can do is turn it on while you're in your car. And thankfully I do have another phone here to test this. I have two phones that are synced to the same car. Now I won't be able to share the screen here on my computer, but right here you can see this parking lot's pretty empty. I mean, there's not much activity, so I can do this without interrupting anybody. I'm going in reverse, and you can see there's nobody behind me, so it's safe to kind of stay here. But the reason I'm doing this is so I can go back into drive and show you on the left side of the screen, that's a main road. That's Gulf Road. the cars on that road are going 45 miles an hour or faster. And because that's a main road, in the past, Smart Summon wouldn't operate. Actually, Smart Summon wouldn't operate from this location. So what I can do is park it really close to this public road and then do the go to target, and I'll be sitting in my car. So I'm going to park it, right? I'm going to move it into this spot here. Park it. And now I'm going to, on my phone, and I think I can show you this. So what I can do is on my phone, I can go into the app. So let's do this here. And I'm going to go into the summon. There's a summon menu right there. So I'm going to select summon. And what I'm going to do is select the target. So right now it's in the come to me. I'm going to select the target there, that icon there. And now I can move the screen to where I want it to go. So let me show you here. I'm going to zoom out to select it. There's that golf road, the main road that I'm parked next to. And I'm going to have it go... I'm going to have it go over to here. So you can see it's within the radius. And when I hit the go to target button, the car is going to take off. So, but in the past, it wouldn't take off because of this main road. So let's find out. Okay, here we go. I'm pushing the button down right now. Okay, it's moving. So this is what it would do before. The original release, it would not do this. But then what happens is, because this is a main road right up here, what happens is, yeah, look at this. So we're getting a message now. Reducing speed due to poor conditions is what my phone is telling me. And there it just stopped. So why it stopped, I don't know. It says here, cannot use on public or high-speed roads. So that's the same. They haven't fixed that. It will not go because it recognizes that this intersection right in front of us is kind of an entryway to that main road. So that's the same as it was before. Not a big deal. 12.6.4 doesn't seem to bring any new behaviors that have been observed here. I'm extremely excited to and honored and privileged to be in this early access group. But it's my service, my duty to be able to report this stuff as quickly as possible for all of you guys. Every time I get an update, I'm out there hustling, driving, and testing it in every situation I can, whenever the weather's nice. Let's just clarify there. But I'm doing this for you guys, and I hope you guys appreciate seeing what's coming down the pipeline for you. If there's anything that you want me to test, anything in particular, or any scenario, please let me know. I value all of your feedback. I read all of your comments. But thanks so much for watching. As soon as I get a chance, I will take this software downtown Chicago, and I'll be sure to make sure you guys know that that video is coming. I'll try to give you a heads up on X and also on YouTube. I'll probably post something there, and also on Patreon. My Patreon subscribers get the latest and greatest. They're going to hear about this video before all of you guys on YouTube and X. So if you are interested in getting the inside scoop and early access to various pieces of information, definitely head on over to that Patreon page. Thanks so much, guys. Until the next one, have a great day.